of Manila Airport, and I can assure you that of all the people that have gone through Manila Airport for a flight, for an onward flight to another country, international arrivals or international departures, of all the people that have ever gone through Manila Airport, I can, at this time, this week, this moment, tell you that I probably know more about the Manila Airport layout than perhaps any other person, including the people that work in the airport. That I can almost assure you of. I can give you an explanation of all 4 floors in the Manila Airport that no guard, no security agent, no customs management personnel, no counter person, no executive in the departments of ticket sales or ticket sales complications. There is nobody else in the Manila Airport or anybody that's ever gone through the Manila Airport that knows more about the Manila Airport than Michael Fazio at this time. I would not say, I can say that with a surety. I spent 3 days in the Manila Airport due to a complication because a ticket agent that sold me my tickets to go to Vietnam neglected to tell me I spent 3 days in Manila Airport. I even slept there the first night. Well, actually, it was the second night. And you're perfectly, I'll explain it, that part of it right to you. If you want to go to Manila Airport and depart to another country, or you have to wait for a layover from one flight to another, and it's a long period of time, you are perfectly allowed to sleep in the airport. You're allowed to sleep in the airport in what is called the passenger waiting area. You're allowed to sleep in the airport in a small area in the back located past the McDonald's on the 3rd floor. There is a sleeping area that you can rent, a hole in the wall, like a 5-foot wide and 4-foot high hole in the wall with a bed in it. And you can rent that for a single person for 1,000 pesos for 7.5 hours. And in that area, there's another room that you can rent for 1,800 pesos for 2 people. However, this sleeping area that you can rent in the Manila Mall itself allows you to not have to travel outside the mall to get a cab and find a hotel. And it also includes coffee, tea, all kinds of snacks, unlimited amount of snacks. And when I say unlimited, it's not like you ask the purveyor of the store for a snack. They just throw it on the counter. There's a whole table full of snacks. And the coffee is bottomless coffee, bottomless tea, sugar, 1 clean towel you get for each person. So there's actually physically a little area that you can rent a room, and then the room is very small, but it has Wi-Fi, it has television, it has a desk, and it has 2 bunks. 1,800 pesos, and you stay right in the airport. You never have to leave the airport. That's on floor number 3. Now, whereas somebody's going to say, well, how could you know more about the airport than anybody that works there? Well, I do, because no one that you ask a question to at the airport knows anything other than the job that they were hired to do. They don't know. If you ask them where to go to sleep, they tell you to go get a cab, which is an important thing, because To get a cab, you got to leave the airport. And if it's raining, you got to leave the airport in the rain. And then you have to find a cab to bring you to a hotel, which is complicated in and of itself because every cab driver is looking to make a deal with the person, the purveyor of the hotel, and they're going to get an end, and the hotel is going to get you, and then you have to travel to the hotel, and then you have to be woken up to get back onto your flight. But there is an actual hotel in the airport, and that's just one of 3 places that you can sleep in the airport. The other one is a massage parlor where they put you in like a very comfortable chair, and you sleep in the chair, but there's a price for that. That price is 1,000 pesos, but they give you a massage for an hour. And then after you're done with the massage, or before, there's also a shower in the massage room. There's like a room where they give you a massage in the airport. But you can take a shower first. The price of a shower in the airport is 250 pesos. That's $5. Then you can either choose to get a massage for an hour and then sit in that very comfortable, like a reclining chair, for up to 4 hours. So you can basically get a massage for an hour and then sit in the reclining chair and go to sleep for 4 more hours. So it's a 5-hour deal. So it's like 200 pesos an hour. There are, and again, I'm going to say, I know more about the Manila airport than the people that work there. There is nobody in the airport that can give you the information that I can off the top of their head without looking at some kind of map or calendar or asking somebody or Googling something, because for the entire 3 days that I spent in the airport, all I did was walk around. So if you have a question, I'm going to go to my home page. If you have a question as to what is possible to do in the Manila airport, I'll answer your questions in regards to the Manila airport. And then I will go on to explain what is there to do in the Manila airport itself. So hold on a minute. Yeah, Red Horse, I see that, but I didn't get to it. I saw it just before I came online. Thank you. And I was running late, so I'll check that out later. Thanks for whatever the message that is. Only way I could get to Messenger is on this phone. I can't go to Messenger on my computer. No matter how many times I put in and open Facebook in the computer, it won't work. Doesn't matter. It has to be a special, like a birthday message or something like that. Okay, so in regards to what there is to do in Manila Airport, I spent 3 days. That's 72 hours plus 79 hours walking around Manila Airport. There is the one sleeping facility. It's called Wings, W-I-N-G-S, Wings. Wings sleeping facility, Manila Airport, should get you a map to where Wings is in the airport. But I'll tell you, it's on the 3rd floor, and on the 3rd floor, there's a McDonald's. Make sure you go to the 3rd floor McDonald's, because there's a McDonald's on the 1st floor as well. In fact, there are 2 McDonald's, there are 2 Burger Kings, there are 2 Wendy's in the airport. So when you ask somebody, where is McDonald's, make sure you tell them it's the 3rd floor. Because let's say you were looking for somebody and you went to the wrong McDonald's. And let's say you went to the wrong McDonald's and you got frustrated and you started asking people who don't speak English how to get to McDonald's. And the people that you're asking tell you that McDonald's is on the first floor because it's one of the first stores you see on the first floor. And you go downstairs to the first floor McDonald's and the person that you're looking for isn't there. Then you get more frustrated. And then you ask the people, is there another McDonald's? And they tell you it's on the second floor. Then you go up to the second floor, look for McDonald's. There's no McDonald's on the second floor. But the people on the second floor that you ask, they don't speak English and they don't care. In the Philippines, people don't care if they know what it is you want. They just send you in a direction, which has been quite obvious this week from an upload that a friend of mine put on YouTube recently. So the people on the second floor tell you that go to McDonald's, it's on the fourth floor. You go to the fourth floor, there's no McDonald's on the fourth floor. You get more frustrated. And you start walking around and saying, where is McDonald's? And just start screaming it out like, where? McDonald's? McDonald's? Where is McDonald's? And the people on the fourth floor, they send you back downstairs to the first floor. You go to the first floor because you forgot you were on the first floor because you're so frustrated you can't find McDonald's. Then you go back to McDonald's, and McDonald's downstairs, you ask the people in McDonald's, is there a McDonald's here? You're in McDonald's, you ask them if there's a McDonald's, and they say, this is McDonald's. Is there another McDonald's? No, sir. Because the people in the McDonald's on the first floor don't know there's a McDonald's on the third floor. Therefore, what you have to do is you look for a map of the airport or Google it on your phone. But you can't get frustrated with the people in the Philippines when you ask them for directions because they just want you to go away. They just want you to go away. They will send you in any direction. They'll tell you McDonald's is downtown Makati just to get you out of their face. If you were in, let's say you were in the Ayala Mall, for instance, looking for Starbucks. Starbucks? Is there a Starbucks here? They're going to tell you the fourth floor. They're going to tell you the first floor. They're going to tell you over there. In other words, you're standing here, and then you ask for Starbucks, and Starbucks, they tell you Starbucks is over there. And you go over there, and then they walk away, and then when you get there, there's no Starbucks. Because the people in the Philippines have something that they call losing face. If you ask them where something is and they don't know, they have to, in their small-minded mentality, give you information. Otherwise, they will look like they don't know. And if they don't know, they feel that they have been a lesser of a person. Rather than to say, I don't know, they will just tell you to go someplace. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Daisy and I were looking for carabiners once, and they sent us to every single store in the entire ICM mall, and nobody had carabiners. Sports store, the hardware store, every store they sent us to. The people in the Philippines don't give you directions if they don't know where you need to go. They will give you directions. They don't give you proper directions. They give you just go away. It's over there. So if you're looking for Starbucks and you don't know how to find Starbucks, they're going to just tell you, go over there. And you go over there and then you get more frustrated. Come back. Starbucks? Is there a Starbucks around here? So that's why you have to come to Michael Fazio if you want to know about Manila Airport. Because I am the world's leading expert on the stores in the Manila Airport. Now, I'll give you a layout of the airport, a virtual layout, mental. So when you walk in on the ground floor in the Manila Airport, Terminal 3 we're talking about. You don't ever want to be in Terminal 2. Terminal 2 is so cold, and it's probably close to a half a mile in length, and there's relatively nothing to do. Whereas in Terminal 3, you can have fun. There's all kinds of stuff to do in Terminal 3. You can get a massage, you can go to Wings and sleep. There's 2 different two, two different Wendy's, and I have a video, Wendy's or Burger King, which is better. First of all, the Burger King, let me just tell you, you're an American, you want to come to the Philippines, you say, well, I haven't had a Burger King in 3 months or a year. Never, in your, never, never, ever, 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 never, ever, 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 never, ever, never, ever, never, ever, never, never buy a Burger King in the Manila airport. First of all, it has a picture of a Whopper. You want, because if you're going to buy Burger King, you're going to buy a Whopper, right? Is there another kind of burger? And there's a picture of a Whopper with 2 patties, cheese melting out of it, lettuce, pickles, onions, special sauce on a sesame seed bun. You're not going to get that at the Burger King in the Manila airport. What you are going to get is something that is called a Whopper, but it's not a Whopper. And if you want a Whopper and it's not a Whopper and you pay for a Whopper and you don't get a Whopper, then what? Then what? You're going to complain to a guy behind the counter that's making minimum wage, or a woman that doesn't even know what a Whopper should look like? Oh, unless you want to pay extra for all the accoutrements, then you can get a Whopper. And is it a flame-broiled Whopper? No, it's not a flame-broiled Whopper. It's just a couple of pieces of pre-cooked meat. Let me tell you what a Whopper is to the people in the Philippines at the Manila airport. It's take your money for this Whopper, take it out of your pocket and throw it up in the air, because you'll be happier at the end of the day. So you go up to the counter. The day I went to the counter for a Whopper, the day I went, I get to the counter. It's 7 o'clock at night. I want a Whopper, but there's a 4-cheese melt Whopper. 4 cheeses. 4 cheeses. You look at the picture. It's a placard about a foot wide and 18, 20 inches high. It's got a picture of 2 giant beef patties sticking outside the bun, lettuce, tomato, pickles. You could see it all there with the special sauce, and the cheese is just dripping all over the meat. That's what the picture says. And it says 259 pesos, which is $5. $5.20. So I asked the woman, let me have a 4-cheese Whopper. So we don't have any 4-cheese Whoppers. Well, all right, then give me a regular Whopper. So we don't have any Whoppers. Okay, so give me the triple decker with fries and a Coke. So we don't have any triple deckers. Okay, give me 2 hamburgers. So we don't have any hamburgers. You buy chicken. Well, I don't want any chicken. Do you have a quarter pounder? Sir, no quarter pounders. You buy chicken. Well, I don't want chicken. So we have no hamburgers. Did they say that when they went, when I got up to the counter? Did they have a placard that says no more ham? They don't have any hamburgers. They don't even have the little hamburgers. There's no more hamburgers, which has to be a lie. It has to be a lie. It just has to be a lie. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Red Horse, the Whopper is guapa. This is garbage that they... Oh, so that's 7 o'clock at night. I don't want chicken. I want a Whopper. So I should have went to Wendy's. First of all, Wendy's hamburgers, anywhere you go in the world, at this point, I will tell you that Wendy's hamburgers are 1,000 times better than Burger King. I don't care. Manila, Cebu, Bohol. Well, they don't have a Burger King here that I know of. But Wendy's is just the best piece of meat you could possibly imagine. Wendy's. I'll get to the Manila airport in a minute, but first I have to talk about my terrible experience with buying a Whopper. Well, I'm not done with the Whopper story yet. I got more to talk about. So I go to Wendy's. Wendy's for 245 pesos. They have the Dave's box, the Dave's box comes. The hamburger is small like that, but thick. The cheese is dripping off the hamburger. It comes with fries that are not as good as Burger King fries, but they're good. And then it comes with an ice cream sundae, an ice cream like a Carvel ice cream cream paste in a cup. Comes with a soda, and that's 250 pesos. But their hamburger is about 100,000 times better than the Whopper that I got the next day for breakfast. Because I got to tell you, the Whopper that I got the next day, well, I will never buy another Burger King hamburger, maybe for the rest of my life. So Wendy's meat, hey, WTF, WTF. That's probably true. I'm sure we're going to find out in the future. Maybe he'll get rated. Maybe he'll get rated on a scale of 1 to 100. WTF, thanks for stopping by. So, Wendy's has the best meat possible. It's imported from Canada, and it's compared to the Whopper that I got the next day, because I wanted a Whopper. I wanted to throw the Whopper out. So I go back to the counter the next day. Now it's 10 o'clock in the morning, because I'm living in the airport, sleeping in wings. Where you sleep, you pay 1,000 pesos for a hole in the wall in wings. So I'm sleeping in the airport itself. I'm not leaving the airport. And when I'm not sleeping, you can only stay there for 7.5 hours. You take a shower, you have your snacks, and then you go to sleep, and then you get up and have coffee, and then you leave. They wake you up, or you could set your phone. So I go to the Burger King. Now, this is the Burger King in the Manila airport on the ground floor. It doesn't matter. Burger King is Burger King. And I go, and the placard is about this wide with it's got cheese melting off of it. I say, do you have the 4 cheese melt? Yes, sir. I give me the 4 cheese melt with extra pickles, no onions. How simple is that? It's a Whopper. I'm on it my way. I want extra pickles, no onions, but of course I want the lettuce and the tomato and the special sauce, right? I mean, that's part of a Whopper, right? I get back to my table. Oh, so the night before, the Whopper cost 259 pesos. In the morning, the Whopper was 281 pesos. So I said, so now I'm thinking, when I paid for it, did I get the right order? Did I get the order that I wanted? Because the Whopper was 259 last night at 7 o'clock. Now it's 281. So I said to the lady, is this a Whopper? She said, yes, sir. I said, but it says on this placard 259 pesos. You charged me 281. New price, sir. And she points to the electronic board up on top. So the new price was 281. I says, okay, thank you. So I says, can I have ketchup? No ketchup, sir. What? You're Burger King and you don't have ketchup? Are you serious? Go find ketchup. And I'm serious. I want ketchup on my Whopper. No ketchup, sir. Give me salt. No salt, sir. You have no salt? You're Burger King and you don't have any salt? And I can't give them back the Whopper, but from being in Wendy's the night before, I had 2 packages of ketchup and a salt that I got from McDonald's, because Wendy's doesn't have salt. Apparently, the Philippines doesn't want to give salt to the people that live here. So McDonald's had salt, Wendy's did not have salt, Burger King does not have salt, Kentucky Fried Chicken does not have salt, Burger King does not have ketchup, Wendy's had ketchup, Kentucky Fried Chicken has no ketchup and no salt, but they have gravy. See, this is the stuff you need to know because you have to eat, right? So you either have to bring your own ketchup and your own salt, or you get no salt, no ketchup from Burger King, no ketchup from McDonald's, but you can get salt. No salt or ketchup from Kentucky Fried Chicken. And no ketchup or salt from Burger King. So now I got this 281 peso Whopper, and I go sit down, and I open it up, and on top of the Whopper, it looks like somebody sprinkled white powder, like a grating cheese. Like someone took a pinch of grating cheese and went like this on top of the Whopper. That's the 4 cheese that they're talking about. There's no cheese melting off the Whopper. You couldn't even taste the cheese, but that's 30 pesos for that little sprinkling of cheese. But there's no lettuce. There's no tomato. There's no mayonnaise, special sauce. And there's 5 slices of pickles, about the size of a peso and the thickness of a peso. So I look at the bill because the bill is on the table. They charged me 10 pesos for 5 slices of pickles the size of a peso and the thickness of a peso. They charged me for pickles, even though a Whopper is supposed to come with pickles, onions, lettuce, and tomato on a sesame seed bun. They charged me for pickles. I said to the lady, I had no onions, extra pickles. She goes, you want pickles? I said, yeah, I want extra pickles, no onions. So I bring the sandwich back to the counter, and I said to the lady, this has no lettuce on it. It has no tomato, no special sauce, no onions. Those are extra, so. I said, but the picture of the Whopper says that you get a lettuce, tomato, onions, pickles. Yes, sir, you can get that, but each item is 10 pesos more. So it's not 281. It's 281 plus 10 for onions, 281 plus 20 for onions and tomatoes, 281 plus 30 for onions, tomato, and lettuce, 281 plus 40 for special sauce, onions, lettuce, and tomato. And so now it's 320 pesos. Now you're paying $7 or $6.60 for a Whopper, for a real Whopper. And the cheese, oh yeah, plus 50 pesos. So it's not 281, it's 331, which is almost $7 for a hamburger. And the cheese, you could not tell that there was cheese on it. That's extra. It was on the bill, because I bought a 4-cheese melt. But if you get the 4-cheese melt, you still pay extra for the cheese, even though it says you're buying a 4-cheese melt for $2.59 or $2.81, whatever it is. So I would never buy another Whopper. So there's a Burger King on the ground floor of the Manila airport. Now let's go. What else is on the ground floor? Up, we see Jack and WTF. Jack is a moderator on the WTF channel. On the ground floor of the Manila airport, now that I'm done with my ranting about where to buy foods. Oh, and the best bang for the buck is, without a doubt, Kentucky Fried Chicken, even though they don't have salt or ketchup. Because it comes, an 8-piece bucket is 8 chicken breasts, the size this big. I mean, it would fill up my whole hand. 8 chicken breasts come with the 8-piece bucket. It comes with 4 accoutrements. You could get 4 mashed potatoes, or 2 mashed potatoes and 2 corn. plus gravy it comes with. So if you took the weight of an 8-piece bucket of chicken and the mashed potatoes and the gravy, it probably weighs very close to 2.5 kilos, two plus kilos for sure. And that is 800 pesos. But you don't have to eat it all, because I'm in the airport for 3 days. I'm sleeping there. I'm living in Manila airport, remember? So I'm trying to figure out what I could buy that would save me some money on food, because I didn't even tell you why I'm sleeping in the airport yet. Oh, that's a nightmare in and of itself. I slept in the Manila airport for 3 days. Actually, it was 4 days. But I was in Manila airport for 4 days. I slept in the hotel the very first night I got there. In a regular piece of dirt. Not a dirty hotel, but I would never go back to that hotel where I slept the first night. So now, you get the 8-piece bucket with 8 pieces of chicken this big. There's no way you could eat 2 pieces of chicken. It's impossible. And then 4 mashed potato and gravy. No salt, no ketchup. Wendy's does not give you salt or ketchup. They give you gravy. If you had to buy 2.5, that weighs about 2.5 kilos, 5 pounds. Let's just say it weighs 5 pounds, and it does. Oh, you also get a drink. You get 4 iced teas, because it's for a family pack of 4. So you get 4 iced teas, 4 small mashed potatoes, a gravy, and 8 pieces of chicken for 800 pesos, $16. And I put instead of giving me the 4 cups, I just got 1 cup and poured it into a 2-liter bottle of unsweetened iced tea. And they don't have sugar. They don't have sugar, they don't have salt, and they don't have ketchup at Wendy's. At Kentucky Fried Chicken. They give you some kind of monosodium glutamate mixed in with aspartame. Oh, God. The stuff is so sweet that a drop of it is too sweet for the whole glass of iced tea. I threw it out. So if you want the best bang for the buck for food, now if you had to buy 5 pounds of Wendy's hamburgers and French fries, that would cost you about 2,500 pesos. That would be $50. You'd have to buy 10 orders of Wendy's to get the same equivalent of weight in Kentucky Fried Chicken. Maybe 8. I don't know. I didn't weigh it out. I didn't have a gram scale with me because I don't carry a gram scale in the airport. So, if you had to buy Burger King, which I would never buy Burger King again for the rest of my life. I may never buy Burger King. That's how bad my experience was there. And it got worse when I got to Saigon, my Burger King experience. I went and looked at Burger King. $17. $17 for a 4-cheese melt Whopper in Ho Chi Minh International Airport. $17 for a Whopper with French fries and a Coke. $17 in Saigon at the terminal. So I'm in the terminal. I got my Wendy's. Now I got to let me do the layout of the airport. On the ground floor is every bank in Manila Airport. On the ground floor is every bank that the Philippines has as a banking institution is located on the ground floor. And immediately to the left or right of each bank, there's just one whole line of banks. There's probably, 15 banks of every bank has a representative bank on the ground floor, and then next to each bank is an ATM machine. So if you need money, you go to the bank on the ground floor. Now there's also, when you first walk into the ground floor, there's a Wendy's. That's where I would eat if I wanted the best hamburger. But if I want the best bang for the buck, I'd go to Kentucky Fried Chicken on the 3rd floor behind McDonald's. That's the first ground floor. Now, there's restaurants, banks, ATM machines, and money exchanges on the ground floor, plus people that wrap your suitcase in cellophane, plus there's a place where you can get a printout copy of something from your cell phone. If you need a document copied, they take your cell phone and they transfer the photo over to their cell phone, and then they print it out. That's on the ground floor now of the Manila airport. So there's a place that you can get printing done. There's a printing, and then there's another place that does printing and photocopies on the ground floor of the Manila airport. Then there's a place to wrap your bags. There are 3 money exchanges, but in Manila airport, if you're going to Vietnam, no money exchanges carry dong, D-O-N-G. No money exchanges in the ICM mall carry dong, D-O-N-G. Dong is Philippines money. No money exchanges in Bohol carry dong. They also don't, no money exchange in Bohol carries Iraqi currency, because I wanted to buy some Iraqi currency. No money exchanges carry Iraqi money exchange. No money exchanges in the Manila airport carry Iraqi money. None. Zero. Nobody. I probably went to 25 to 35 money exchanges in Bohol, ICMBQ, and in Bohol. In the Manila airport, there's probably 15 money exchanges, none of them. And then in Saigon, there's money exchanges every 200 feet. Nobody carries Iraqi money. And that's, I wanted to buy some Iraqi money. So that covers ripple effect, because ripple effects, and I had a conversation about Iraqi money, and I wanted to take a look at the pictures on Iraqi money. Can't buy Iraqi money in the Philippines or Saigon. So the first floor has Burger King, Wendy's, money exchanges, banks, ATMs, wrapped up suitcases, and printers and copy machines, photocopies. That's the first floor. Second floor is pretty much just international arrivals. That's people that came in to the airport and are leaving the airport. I never got on the second floor, because the second floor you have to have you can't get on the second floor. You can't go into the second floor unless you arrive by airplane. In other words, you can't go in and walk around and reconnoiter around on the second floor. That's only for arrivals, and when people come in with their planes and suitcases, they can leave the second floor, but nobody can go in from the outside. Now, the third floor has international arrivals and departures. However, it also has, on the second floor, there's also customs offices, what do they call that? Customs, where they check your baggage or they check your passport. They make sure you have all your paperwork in order. On the third floor, now here's the third floor is the best floor of Terminal 3. There's just an endless amount of stuff there. You could live in Terminal 3. Oh, by the way, I lived in Terminal 3 for 79 hours. I lived in Terminal 3 for 79 hours. I never left. After I got that dumpy room the first night, I never left the airport after that. I just walked around everywhere in the airport and made videos. I have videos coming up about what's to do in the airport. Places to sleep, places to get a massage, which I did not do, but you can sleep in the massage chair. So on the third floor is international arrivals and departures. Now, there's a waiting area on the third floor that has a security tape around it. Just those little stanchions with a tape around it, and then inside there is security. You can go into the third floor waiting area, passenger waiting area, passenger storage, I think it says. Passenger storage. It's where they store the passengers. That's what I think the sign says, passenger storage. Inside there are 24 free outlets to charge your phone in the passenger storage area on the third floor. So you're going to need that if you're going to be in the airport like me. I lived in the airport for 3 days. You're going to need to charge your phone. So that's free. There's a whole table set up with 24 outlets on it. Very nice. And then there's chairs in there. Now, inside the passenger storage area, it probably fits about 600 people in that area. But if you want to sleep in there, you can sleep in there. All along the windows is like a ledge about 22 inches wide. And you can just put your bag down and sleep. People bring sleeping bags. They bring air blow-up mattresses. They bring blankets. They bring pillows. Because in the Manila airport, you are allowed to sleep in the Manila airport on the floor. No problem. No questions asked. They don't care. Every once in a while, maybe, when I first got there, because they knew what I looked like, after I slept in there the second night, in the morning, one of the security personnel walked up to me in the passenger storage area where I was sleeping. They let you sleep there all night. Said to me, "Do you have a ticket, sir?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." And I says, "It's in my bag." And I went to get it. She goes, "No, sir, that's okay." They only just asked me if I had a ticket. Because my ticket, why am I sleeping in the Manila airport? Oh, I didn't get to that part yet. I don't know that I'll even get to it today. But I'm sleeping in the Manila airport because my ticket agent and the Bureau of Immigration and the visa office in Bohol did not know. They did not know or tell me that I needed a visa to go to Vietnam. When I asked, they said, "No, sir. Long time ago, but no longer. No more." Anyway, so I'm sleeping in storage area, but outside the storage area, there's another whole entire window wall, and you can sleep over there too. You can sleep anywhere you want on the third floor. That doesn't. If you feel like laying down in between the aisles on the third floor, just throwing your blanket and your sleeping bag and your pillow down on the floor, they just let you sleep. It's pretty cool, actually. And there was a lot of people sleeping. There's probably 200 people. I have a video of at least 200 people sleeping on the floor at night. Because I don't sleep all night. I'm walking around, I'm reconnoitering, just like I'm going to reconnoiter the Philippines. Just like somebody gave me a heads up that they're going to be sending me a lot of money towards the iPhone 13 and towards my drone and towards my recon the Philippines. But that's a video for another day. Somebody in Hawaii that I helped out with financial problems about 7 or 8 months ago came into a large inheritance, and they said they're going to donate money to my drone fund, reconnoiter the Philippines, and of course reconnoiter Cebu. So I'm sleeping in the airport, no problems, no questions asked, and then at night, when I really want to go to sleep and take a shower, then I go to my area called Wings, where you can take a shower. But in the meantime, if you're tired, you just lay down and go to sleep. It's a lot of fun, the Terminal 3. Now, that's the third floor. Now, on the third floor, if you have a problem with your ticket, 16 Delta, international departures. You go to the counter, you go to the entrance to international departures. There's 2 security guards. Tell them I said hello. And you tell them that you missed your flight, because I missed my flight because the Bureau of Immigration and the visa office didn't tell me I needed a visa for Vietnam. 16 Delta, there's 2 agents there that will reschedule your tickets one time, Cebu Pacific. So you don't have to call up in advance to tell them that you missed your flight. They know that. You don't have to pay anything at all. It's just a 100% one time only. They move your ticket to a different date. So that's on the 3rd floor at Cebu Pacific area, 16 Delta. So in my case, when I got to the airport to get on my flight to Vietnam on the 14th of August, I got on my flight from Bohol to Manila. I felt fine when I got on the flight. By the time I got off that flight, I could barely walk. I was deathly sick, dizzy, weak, disorientated. I caught something on the plane. So I go to get my boarding pass from my connecting flight at Cebu Pacific on the 3rd floor. And the lady says to me, sir, do you have this is something you should pay attention to. Do you have your entry visa to Vietnam? I said, ma'am, I asked the Bureau of Immigration visa office where I got my motion of consideration, and they gave me an exit pass to leave Philippines, that I had no criminal record, I wasn't wanted for anything. They give you, that's where you get that, at the visa office. They said I don't need a visa, an exit visa. Oh, sir, they were mistaken. So I said to the lady, okay, how do I get an exit visa? She goes, you can apply for it online. Now it's 10:30 at night. My flight leaves at 1:30. And I said, I don't know how to do that stuff on the phone. We'll help you. She said, we'll help you. So 2 women come out from behind the counter, and they tell me, let me have your phone. And they worked for 2 hours to fill out the entry visa from Vietnam. You need to have all your paperwork from your visa office, including your exit visa clearance. You need something called a TRAZE, T-R-A-Z-E pass. You need something called, you need your passport, and you need the vaccination card. Then you need proof of vaccination card online. And then they want what day you took the vaccination, to the day. And that's on your vaccination card. But they also want, did you take your booster? So if you didn't have a booster, that's another process that you have to go through. So I took the Sinovac, which I'm not happy about taking anything that starts off with the letter S-I-N. The Sinovac vaccine on June 23rd, and the second dose I took on July 21st. So I have my TRAZE card from my vaccination. Can we see that? So I give them the card. I give them my vaccination card. Can we see your TRAZE pass? So that's on your phone. You have to sign in to TRAZE, T-R-A-Z-E. And it shows you TRAZE. Now, when I signed in with Michael Fazio, it opened up the page and showed the CAPTCHA, but it didn't have Michael Fazio and my legal address and my phone number or my email address. So she says, sir, it doesn't have your information on that. I said, well, it's the CAPTCHA tells you when you scan the CAPTCHA, it tells you that I'm Michael Fazio, right? She said, yes, sir. What's the problem? She goes, well, it has to show on your TRAZE pass. So I said, all right, let me put the information in again. So I put the information in again. And then she was doing something else, and I went to another page on my phone to do something else because she was busy working with people for flights, departure flights. And when she came back, I showed her the thing. She goes, the information isn't there, sir. So I looked at it. I said, I just input it and said save. Yes, sir, but we have to see the information. Now, this is all before I can apply for my entry visa to Vietnam. Now, it's more than an entry visa. It's an entry-exit visa. Entry-exit. Remember that, because if you go to Vietnam and you don't remember that I just said entry-exit visa application, entry-exit visa application, entry-exit visa. If you don't remember, it's an entry-exit visa application. They will not let you leave Vietnam because nobody in any position in any airport that I've been to knows all the rules. And they don't know the wording on every form. And they don't know whether or not you have to have certain things, medical things, at the ticket counter that they ask you for that you were told you don't need by the Bureau of Immigration, by the person who sold the tickets, by the person who is giving you your boarding pass. They don't know the rules. That's why I had to find two ticket agents that would help me, and managerial personnel to help me fill out my entry visa to Vietnam. So now these two girls have the trays pass, but we can't keep the information. When they look up the information, it disappears from the screen. Even though they see it on mine, I press save. When they look up the information, my name, email address, phone number does not show up on their computer, which is another nightmare that I had to go through the next day because I'm not getting on that plane, that's for sure. So at 10:30, two people plus managerial come out to help me fill out my entry exit visa to Vietnam. If you don't remember that, you're not going to be able to leave Vietnam. They're not going to let you leave Vietnam without an entry exit visa, which is the same thing. But when you're in Vietnam, they ask you, do you have your exit visa? And you say, oh, no, I have an entry visa. Because on the visa, it says entry visa. But in the small words, it says entry exit visa. Same thing. It's an entry exit visa, but in the big words, it says entry visa. So I said, when I was in Vietnam, I have an entry exit visa. I give them the paper. It's a paper. You have to have that printed out. No, sir, this is an entry visa. No. In the bottom, in the small words, it says entry exit. No, sir, you have to have an exit visa. I'm going to do the same thing, entry exit. I'm only here 7 days. Just give me my boarding pass. Sir, you have to have an exit visa. I said, get me a supervisor. Please get me a supervisor. So they got a manager. The manager looked at it, said, sir, we're not going to be able to let you on the plane. You have to have an exit visa. I said, it says entry exit visa. No, sir, you have to have an exit visa. I said, this is an entry exit visa. It says it right there in the thing. So there's a supervisor, a man behind her. He said, let me take a look at the paper. And he looked at the paper and he read it. And he himself had to research it. Is it really an entry exit visa or did I make it up? So he gives it back to the people at the counter and says, this is valid. It's an entry-exit visa. So the people that help you with the problems with your tickets don't know that the entry-exit visa is an entry-exit visa. Always go to a manager, always. And then tell them what happened to you, because what happened to me was a disaster. So we're at the counter. The ladies fill out my paperwork. And I said to the lady, how long can it take? She says, well, it could be an hour, because we're applying for an entry-exit visa to Vietnam entry-exit visa department, but it's 11:30 at night now. So we're not going to get it. But they have... Hey, Bu Hamyan Grove. Bu Hamyan Grove. Thank you for stopping by, and thank you for your very astute comments. I would say that your comment was astute, if not actually insightful. Insightful. Thanks for stopping by. So, thank you. Now, I would say ripple effect. I seen it too. You see, that was pretty hard to look at. Ripple effect, I did what you said. I went to get the Iraqi currency, 25 at least, 25. Okay, you sent me a video. Okay. At least 25 money exchanges in Bohol, Manila, Airport, and Vietnam. At least 25 people I asked for Iraqi currency. They don't have it. No one has it. I don't know how to get it. There's one more money exchanger that I have to go to today, because I'm setting up a new bank account, a dollar account. I have $1 account, but that bank is so far away from the main branch in the city that I keep my money in. I'm going to set up a new dollar account in one of my other banks where I could do all my banking at once. So I do have to go to an Indian money exchanger that gives you the best amount of dollars for pesos or pesos for dollars. The money exchanger. So I'll take a look. I need to get 5 $100 bills to set up another account. And then I'm going to buy the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I'll take a look at your video. I saw you sent me a message on my Yahoo Mail this morning, but I didn't look at it. But thank you. So the ladies, digressing back to the counter personnel, the ladies are filling out my application. It's done. It took 2 counter people and the manager, and of course my input information. It took 3 people plus myself to fill out an application for an entry visa. By about 12:30 midnight, after midnight, my application was complete, and I said, how long will it be? And she said, well, it could be an hour and it could be 15 days. Minimum 3 days before you can inquire. So I was tired. When I got off the plane from Bohol to Manila, I caught some kind of serious sickness. I don't know what it was. But I got stopped in Vietnam from returning to Bohol, to the Philippines, for 6 business days because I got tested positive for COVID. Yes, I did. I did get tested positive for COVID, and I was marooned. Arthur Yellow is in the house. I was marooned, quarantined, sequestered in the capital city of Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh capital, Saigon. I was quarantined for 6 business days because I was diagnosed with COVID. I don't know if I had COVID or not. No one knows what COVID is, actually, but I was diagnosed with COVID. So now I'm so sick and I'm so tired. I said to the women, okay, I'll go get a hotel room. Now the fun begins. Don't ever trust a cab driver. Anywhere in the world, they're all thieving bastards. By the time you're done with them, you want them to lose their license. There's just no way around it. They're just all thieves. I was sick and tired of feeling sick. I was sick. No, Arthur, I was so sick. I was passing out on the plane. I got on the plane feeling fine, and I was so sick, I was literally passing out. When I got off the plane, I could walk about 100 feet, and I had to rest, which is documented in one of my videos. And I got in trouble because I didn't want to get up. I didn't get in trouble, but I was reprimanded to stand up and walk to an area. What a disaster this flight was from Manila, from Manila to Saigon. I got in a lot of trouble. They wanted me to. The flight crew said I can sit in the tube between the airplane and the. I'll tell you that in a minute, but they said I could sit down because I said I was sick, and they said you sit in this chair. They even got me a chair. You sit in this chair. So I was sitting in the chair when all the federal marshals, dogs, bomb sniffing equipment came onto the plane. They all rushed by me, and then I was reprimanded to go to a waiting area outside the airplane because there was a terrorist event on the airplane, which prevented the airplane from leaving for 3 days. But that's another story. So it's 1 o'clock in the morning now, and I got to get a cab. And I walk outside Manila Airport to get a cab. They're all thieves. And the only guy that speaks English, nobody speaks English. First, I got to get down. I got to get pesos. So I had to go to an ATM machine. So I get pesos because we're still in Manila. And I go outside and I'm looking for a cab. And the cab drivers, they're going to take me to a hotel. Okay. Well, they just, it's just amazing. It's just amazing. So the guy takes me to a hotel, and it's a dump, and it's $100. I said, I'm not gonna. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. It's pouring rain. That was a nightmare in and of itself. So that was just a nightmare. Any cab driver that you're going to go to, and that same thing happened in Saigon, but worse, way worse. I had to go to 4 different hotels to find something for less than $80. I only want to sleep. I don't want to live there. I don't want to. I just want to take a shower and go to sleep. So I go to a hotel, and in the morning I get up at like 7 o'clock, still sick, go back to the airport, and I decide to myself, you know what, I'm going to sleep in this airport until that paperwork goes through in Vietnam, the entry-exit visa. I'm going to sleep in the airport because everybody was sleeping in the airport. So I go back to the airport, and they have Wi-Fi in the Manila airport. It's free. I check. You put certain information in. It says your paperwork is being processed. So that's when I started living in the airport. And then when 72 hours was up at 1 o'clock in the morning on the 3rd day, I applied. I opened up the page, and that's when it gave you the option to write them a letter. And I wrote them a letter saying that I have a court case, and I also am running out of medicine for a wound I have on my leg. Is there a way to expedite this process. But it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, I got back a message saying, your entry-exit visa has been approved. Hey, Laura. Hello, Laura. Thank you for stopping by. No, Arthur is a friendly, Scott. He did not mean anything bad by that. He was talking about Yellow, baby, Arthur Yellow. I don't know who he is, but that's a cool name. So I'm getting ready to spray my drone, by the way. I'm getting ready to spray. Smash the like button, says LaRue Seagrass. Thank you, sweetheart. So at 10:30 in the morning, I'm at the ticket office, assistance, because my Cebu Pacific ticket, I missed the flight 3 days ago. So they adjusted the ticket from Manila to Saigon. They originally wanted 1,500 pesos to adjust the ticket. However, the manager said, no, that fee is waived. That's no longer in effect. So the ticket agents that are assisting people to reschedule tickets didn't know that a certain percentage of the ticket is no longer charged to replace your ticket. And if the manager wasn't standing behind them, it would have cost me another $35. But in order to leave, in order to leave Philippines, if a foreigner is in the Philippines for more than 1 year, there is a duty tax at the airport. It's 1,720 pesos. Then before they give you a boarding pass, you have to go on the 3rd floor at the international departure. You get after you get your ticket adjusted, or before you're going to get on your flight, you get your boarding pass. They tell you in order to get a boarding pass, they look at your passport and they say you've been in the Philippines for more than 1 year. You have to pay an exit visa clearance of 1,700 pesos, $35. Then you walk about 200 feet from the ticket agent to the cashier, which is near customs. And then you pay this $35, and you bring that receipt back to the ticket agent, then they give you a boarding pass. So once I got my exit visa clearance, exit visa to Saigon, I paid my $35 and I got my ticket. This is where the fun begins. I have now been in the airport for 3 days, but I bought a ticket to return from Saigon 4 days from the time I was going to enter Saigon. Now, I got time to do that. I can get off the plane in Saigon, go through customs, go down to departures in Saigon, and get on a flight at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So I would be in Vietnam. I'd get my ticket, passport stamped, you're in Vietnam. I would be there approximately 1 hour, and I'd get on a flight back to the Philippines. So I would have never got to see anything in Vietnam. I would have just got off the plane and then went through customs, went through airport security, went from arrivals to departures, and got back on a plane, came back to the Philippines. That was okay with me because I was still sick. I'm talking sick. I wasn't sick like where you could, I don't feel good. No, I was sick where I walk 150 feet and I had to stop. I couldn't breathe. I had a fever. The water was pouring off my face. I had to have a rag to wipe the water off. I was sick as a dog. Dennis is here. Michael, if you get the iPhone Pro Max, you will also need an extension for the part that holds the phone on the controller. I think you're right about that, Dennis. I'll use a rubber band initially until I find out for sure. I know that you need the extension if you use a mini tablet, the mini tablet A, but I can't use the mini tablet A because it's Android. I know you need an extension for that, and that's all available. I have a new playlist of what phones will work with the Mavic Air 2S. It's my newest playlist, and only the Mavic Air 2S requires mandatory an i13 phone, i13 Pro, or i13 Pro Max. That drone will only work with an i13 phone. It won't work with an i12. It won't work with an i11. It won't work with an i8. It won't work with an Oppo. It won't work with a Samsung. It only works with the iPhone 13, 13 Pro, or 13 Max. So in that playlist, it's called Air Photography, AIR Photography. That guy is probably the second video down in my playlist. He has a link in that video for the adapters for the tablets and the phones. So thank you for that. But I do know about that. Thank you, Dennis. Scott says hello to LaRue. And LaRue says hello to Dennis. Dennis retracted his message. Thank you, Dennis. You're always on top of what I need. Thank you very much. So now I'm in Manila. I'm going to get on a flight to Saigon that's going to bring me to Vietnam in time to get off the plane and to get back on another plane to come back to Manila. I'm going to spend an hour in Vietnam, but I'm going to get my passport stamped. And we get on the plane, and there's like a 20-minute delay. We're sitting on the plane at the runway. The plane starts to back off away from the passenger tube, the tube that they put you when you walk to the terminal. It starts to back off, like it starts and it stops dead. And now that's a 20-minute delay. We already had a 20-minute delay. So now I'm going to miss my flight in Vietnam to come back. That's for sure. So with that, all of a sudden you hear all kinds of commotion. Now I look up the aisle because I'm way in the back. I'm like number 34, not 34 Delta, which is, I'm way in the back of the plane. And I'm looking up the aisle, and there's cops and dogs and people coming on the plane. You could see them, but you weren't allowed. The pilot said stay in your seat. So apparently they took somebody off the plane, which is not really a good thing. Now the pilot says, at this time we're going to have to ask you to leave the plane by seat numbers, by A, B, C, D, whatever, 1 through 10, whatever it was. You're going to have, and bring your luggage with you. We may be changing aircraft. Now I'm going to miss my flight for sure in Vietnam to come back to the Philippines. I'm going to miss it. It's done. It's over. I already missed it. I get off, and I can barely walk, and halfway up the tube to go to the passenger terminal, I'm leaning up against the wall, and one of the flight crew walks up to me with a chair and says, "Sir, sit down on the chair," because she saw I was sick. I sit down on the chair. She goes, "You stay here, sir." And with that, federal marshals, dogs, the bomb-sniffing machines, they with the wands, they all come on the aircraft. They're flooding onto the aircraft. 12, 13, 14 more people than the ones that took the guy off the airplane. Guy or woman, I don't know. I never saw that. And one of the agents says, you're going to have to go to the terminal. I'm going, dude, man, I don't know that I'm going to be able to walk that far. Sir, you have to leave. So I said, okay, I'll leave. So I grabbed the chair. No, sir, you have to leave the chair here. I'm going, I don't know that I'm going to make it to the terminal, dude. It's a long way. It's not just up the tube. Then it's up a ramp, this way up a ramp, then back up a ramp, and then back up another ramp. You have to leave, sir. So I said, okay. By the time I get back up to the top, it's got to be another 20 minutes because I rested along the way. He stood behind me like I was a little kid that I wasn't going to do it. I couldn't walk. I just couldn't walk. I didn't have the strength to walk up the ramp. So the guy, I finally get up there, and now it's time for my medicine, and they had taken our water away from us. Now, there was a place to get hot or cold water, but it was outside. They put up some vinyl barriers. And I don't have any water. So I said to the lady in the waiting area, I need water. I'm going to go get a... No, sir. I said, ma'am, I need water to take my medicine. No, sir, you cannot leave this area. I said, well, then you go get me water. Go get me a cup of water because I have to take my medicine. So she did. I mean, they have so many rules because if I left that area, I would have to go through customs again. Where am I going? I would leave the area. She can come with me. Any one of a dozen federal marshals can walk with me to the water. The water's only 50 feet from where we're sitting. They won't let me out of that cordoned off area. So she went and got me a cup of water and I took my medicine. Plus I was thirsty. They have too many rules. So we're in this waiting area for a long time. I don't know how long. I fell asleep sitting on the chair. Finally they said we can go back on the plane. And I went back on the plane. Same seat, and now I sleep all the way to Saigon. What a nightmare this was. So I get to Saigon, and I still can't walk. I'm still dizzy. I don't have a headache, and I don't have the runs, but I'm weak, and I'm sweating like a pig. The water's just pouring off of me. And now I need dong. D-O-N-G. So I had pesos. I exchanged pesos for dong. And I go outside and I meet my first thief in Saigon, which is a cab driver. They're all thieves, every one of them. And he goes, I tell him I want to go to the Vietnam War Memorial Museum area and get a hotel there. Yes, sir. $10 for the cab. $15 for the hotel. I know the area. So that's 8 kilometers away. So I figure $1 per kilometer. That's a good price. Okay, so I give him 220,000 dong, which was not $10. It was probably like $12 or $13. Because that's what he said, $10. But then he charged me 220,000 dong, which is more than $10. It's like $12, $14, $13. He robbed me right from the beginning. He robbed me. So now I get into the cab, and I said, let me see how long this cab ride takes to go 8 kilometers at 2 o'clock in the morning. 90 seconds. We went across the highway, and he pulls up to a hotel. There's your hotel. I'm going, no, I want to go to the Vietnam War Memorial. Yes, Vietnam War Memorial. I'm going, but the map says it's 8 kilometers. No English. I get out of the hotel. I get out of the car. And he yells at the person at the counter. Now I want to pay $15 for the hotel. That's what I'm. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm only going to sleep for a couple hours. Then I'm going to get back up and leave because I know I'm not at the Vietnam War Memorial. That's the first thing I'm going to do. And the lady says, I pick out a 300,000 dong room. That's $15 about. And then no, she shows me 800,000 dong room. That's $80. Figure each 100,000 dong is $10. So $10, yeah, $10. So I don't want that. So the cab driver's there like this. I says, I paid the boss. No money for you. And this, take me back to the airport. And he understood that. Take me to the airport. I want my money back. Because he didn't bring me to the Vietnam War Memorial, American War Equipment Museum. He didn't bring me there. That's 8 kilometers away. I want my money back. Bring me back to I think the guy's name was Pocky or something like. Bring me back to Pocky. So he brings me to another hotel. He yells at the woman. And they don't have a 200. They have it on the chart, 200,000 dong. But they don't have a room for 200,000 dong. Only 850,000 dong. 200,000 dong. Okay, 1,000 pesos. 1,000 pesos. Anyway, they have 800,000 dong. I forget. They have 800,000 dong. I don't want that. I don't want it. I want a 250,000 dong. No English. So we go to a third place. The driver does the same thing. I get out. I'm tired now. It's going on 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, now take me back to the airport. He brings me to another hotel right around the block. There's got to be 500 hotels on 3 blocks. But he's got a deal worked out with all of these hotels. He stops the thing. I put my hand on his shoulder. I said, you stay here. You stay in the car. You stay in the car. I'll get out. I get out. I get a 200,000 dong room. No problem, because that guy didn't yell at the person to rob me when I got there. So I pay the person 200,000 dong, which is like $10, $12, whatever it is. And he comes up and puts his hand out, so I shake his hand. Okay, wait, all right. All right, so I got that backwards. 800,000 dong is 2,000 pesos, so that's $40, right? Okay, that's what it was. I get the 200,000 and the 400. So the 800,000 is $40. I don't want to spend $40 for a room. I want $10 room, $15 room. They got to have $10 or $15 rooms. First of all, the room had thank you, Scott. They have no cold, no hot water, no internet, no television, but the bed was clean. So I got a 200,000 dong room, which was $20. But I was supposed to get a $15 room, not a $40 room. So I put the bed up against, no lock on the door at all. No lock, just open the handle. There's no lock. There's no latch on the inside. There's nothing. It's just a door with a handle on it. Well, there was a little thing about this big. It was a little slide bolt. You could lean on it with your shoulder. It would fall off the wall. Many times it has fallen. So I sleep. I take an ice cold shower. I'm talking cold. I sleep. I go to put my shoes on in the morning, and there's cockroaches in my shoe. Apparently, whatever was in my shoe, the dead skin, they found it good to eat the dead skin out of my shoe, the cockroaches. And I'm going, I'm not staying here anymore. So I go back to now I got to go back to the airport in Saigon because it was clean there. The bathrooms were clean. And there's also a place to sleep there, which I didn't know about right away. But I go back to the airport, and now I check on my ticket again because that's where they have Wi-Fi. Well, I had to stay there until I got... Why did I go back to the airport? To find a hotel room on the internet and to find out where the American War Weapons Museum was, and to do other stuff on the internet. So I go back to Saigon Airport, and I did some videos of the airport, and then from there I got a ticket to go back to the Philippines. I also wanted to go... I went back to find out where the War Weapons Museum was and to get a return flight. So I figure out where everything is that I want to see. I go to the return ticket. I want to go buy a return ticket for Cebu, and I want them to adjust the price that I paid for my original Cebu Pacific ticket. I want them to give me full credit, like the other place in Manila did, for a ticket. But they don't have a Cebu Pacific ticket office in Vietnam. They have a Vietnamese and they have a Philippines airline. So I said, can you adjust the ticket to a Vietnamese? Or no, sir. You have to buy a full price ticket. Give me a ticket to go back to Manila. I want to go back to Manila. I don't want to go to Vietnam anymore. I'm done with Vietnam. Give me a ticket. Do I need anything else after I bought? No, sir. Just buy the ticket. Go get your boarding pass. So I need nothing else. No, sir. You just buy the ticket from Vietnamese Airlines and you go get your boarding pass at the counter. I don't need anything else. No, sir. That means I don't need an exit visa. No, sir. That means I don't need anything, right? Nothing, sir. Give me 7.4 million dong, which is $350. I go downstairs, I get 10 million dong, because I'm going to be there all day. I'm going to have to spend some dong. I got to spread the dong around. And I go back, I give a 7.4 million dong, because now I'm buying a whole new ticket, and I'm buying it for that day. For the next morning, I'm going to be on a plane back to Manila. I'm done with Vietnam. I'm at the airport, I'm done, I'm going to sleep here, I'm going home. I get up the next morning, I go to the ticket office, to the line Alpha. In Vietnam, Alpha counter is Vietnamese Airlines / Philippines Airlines / ticket agent. I get on Alpha. Oh, no. At the ticket agent, I give the woman $350 for the ticket, and I start to walk away. Sir, do you have... Are you vaccinated? Yes, I am. Do you have your booster? I said no, because I showed her my vaccination card. It doesn't show the booster. Oh, sir, you have to get a PCR test. So you didn't tell me that. Yes, sir. What do you mean, yes, sir? I asked you if I needed anything besides this ticket, and you said no. Yes, sir. But you said nothing else. Yes, sir. But you need a PCR test. But I asked you if I needed anything else. Yes, sir. But you need a PCR test. Talking to a brick wall. You're talking to somebody that was trained to sell you a ticket, period. That's their job, to sell you a ticket. So I said, where do I get a PCR test? On the ground floor. It's 150,000 dong, which is not much, $10, $12. I go downstairs, there's two guys there. One guy has the swabs, the other guy operates the computer. He looks at your passport, they scan your passport, they look at your vaccination card. They looked at something else that they didn't tell me that they needed. The Trays card on the phone. I showed them that. The guy sticks the swab in my nose. A half hour later, he goes, "Sir, you tested, you failed." So I'm thinking, that's good, right? I don't have COVID. "No, sir, you have COVID." So I said, "You mean I tested positive?" "Yes, sir, you failed." Failing is testing negative to me. They have it backwards. So I says, "Oh, okay. All right. What do I do now? 'Cause I'm sick. I've been saying I've been sick for an hour and 30 minutes. I'm sick as a dog. The sweat is pouring off my face. The guy could see I could barely stand up. He goes, "You have to come back in 5 or 6 days and test again." So I says, "Do I have to go anyplace special?" "No, sir. Just go get a hotel for 5 or 6 days and come back again." So I said, well, I guess I'm going to get to go see Vietnam. And I went to every place that I wanted to go to. Me, I don't have even the... Yeah, well, LaRue, if you want to leave, you don't have to leave the country, so you don't need that. I needed to leave. Otherwise, I would have to pay $400 every 2 months as a penalty fee. And after 3 of those, $1,200, I'd still have to leave. Well, even though you heard stories about somebody stopping me from leaving and stopping me from coming back, that guy is delusional. So anyway, I leave, and he says, "Go anywhere you want, any hotel, no proof of quarantine is necessary, just stealth quarantine." I said, "Well, I'm going to have to go out for food." "Yes, sir." He don't care. He just go get a hotel. They were very nice, the 2 young men. They were like, a lot of people failed. There was a lot of people failing. Not only were there a lot, but I was sick. The other people, the arguments that ensued before my test, I'm listening to, I'm not sick. I can't. "Yeah, you're going to stay here," the man said. You're not leaving. Come back in 5 or 6 days. So by the time I got there was nothing to argue about. I knew the guy was going to say, "Come back in 5 or 6 days." So I leave. Now, all this time, I'm using, when I go to the hotel where I'm going to go, and I'm going to come back to the airport to use their internet, which was better than the hotel that I first got. And when I'm back in the hotel, when I'm back in the airport, they are on the west side of the airport on the ground floor testing area. So instead of saying, there's no way I want to bump into these 2 guys when I'm back in the airport, because it's only day 3. I had to go back to the airport to do something. I get into the east side of the elevator, and I'm on the ground floor, and I'm going to go up to the 3rd floor to do something in the airport. And who do I walk? I walk straight into these 2 guys, right face to face. They looked at me, I looked at them, I looked down at the floor, they looked over there, they looked over there. I guess we were all smiling, and we just walked past each other, because I'm supposed to be in a quarantine hotel. So they just laughed. I guess they laughed, I laughed. What's the chances of that? So by that time, I had been to the Vietnam American War Weapons Museum. I had been to the Russian Museum for the weapons that Russia used against Pol Pot. I had been to the pharmacy to try to get medicine for my ibuprofen, which is impossible. They don't sell ibuprofen in Vietnam. One pharmacy had 8 pills, one pharmacy had 10 pills. That's it. There was no more. They have to order it. Would you like to order it? I'm going, order what? Ibuprofen? Yes, sir. Is there another pharmacy around? No, sir. Is there a hospital around? They told me there was a hospital like 5 kilometers away. I says, all right, I'll just deal with instead of taking medicine 8 pills a day of one and 3 pills a day of another, I reduced my medicine to 2 pills and 1 pill. So I had enough to stretch it out for the 10 days that 7 days that I was there. So on the 7th day, I go back to the airport. Now I got to get another ticket, but I go to take my PCR test first. And the two guys said good morning to me because it's morning. And I said good morning to them. They didn't say anything about our rendezvous in the elevator. The guy takes the swab and swabs my nose. I walk from the swab table. I'm the only person in there to sit down. And he said, "Sir, you passed." What can you do in 90 seconds? Not that I care. I passed. And the other guy gives me a thumbs up like that. And the guy with the swab gives me a thumbs up. And I give them a thumbs up. And I go to get my paper that says I passed my PCR test. And it's a legal document that you need to get a boarding pass to get on a plane. So I take my PCR test. I go back up to the woman upstairs where I bought the Vietnamese ticket. And I says, "I want to trade my ticket in for a new ticket." "Oh, no, sir, we don't do that. You have to pay a penalty fee of half the price of the ticket. 3.7,120,000 dong. However many dong that is. 3.7,120,000 dong penalty fee. So now I don't have any dong. I got to go back down to an ATM machine. Now this is something you need to know. ATM machines in Saigon tell you fast cash, maximum dong, 4 million dong, maximum. But it says other. You can take out up to, I took out 7 million dong. I needed more dong. So, but if you go by their machine, you're going to pay a $20 international monetary fee for and if I wanted 7 million dong, I needed 3.7 million dong. I had at least 100,000 dong in gifts. Actually, I needed 925,000 dong. Just under 1 million dong for gifts for Daisy and her mother. So I get the dong from the ATM machine. The ATM machines in Saigon are located on the ground floor only. There are no other ATM machines. I bring the dong, I give it 3.7,120,000 dong to the lady. I show her my pass. She says, "You can get on the plane in the morning, next day." So now I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going back to the hotel. I'm going to sleep in the airport. You can sleep in Saigon International Airport. I sleep there. I get online at 6 o'clock in the morning for a 9 o'clock flight, and I give the lady my PCR test. I give her the ticket. She said, "Do you have your Trays pass?" "Yes." So I show her the Trays pass. She looks at it on my phone, and she says, "It doesn't have any information on the phone." I said, "Yeah, but if you screenshot the capture, it has my info." "Yes, sir, but we have to see it on your phone." I says, "I went through this in Manila. There's something wrong with your system." So that went to a manager, which went to a supervisor. The supervisor came over and said, "Yes, we're having problems with the Trays pass. Let him go." Okay, So the lady waves the trays pass and says, "Do you have an exit visa?" So I give her my entry exit visa. "No, sir, we need an exit visa." I said, "Well, what does that?" "You'll have to apply online. It will take between 3 and 15 days. I said, no, that says entry exit visa." "No, sir, it says entry visa." "Yeah, on the top it says entry visa. In small print it says this is an entry exit visa, and on the website it says entry exit visa." "No, sir." I said, "Yes, it does." Again, the manager and then the supervisor. Supervisor comes over. They don't know, because people go for every country all over the world. They're all over the world. They're going to different countries. Every country has different requirements. So the guy looks at the paper and says, "Oh, yeah, this is an entry-exit visa." Meanwhile, they wouldn't have let me go. They would have made me apply for an entry-exit visa when I already had one. I would have been there for 3 more days. Nobody knows anything but the job they were hired to do. After that, it has to go to manager, then it has to go to supervisor. Make sure when you have a problem at the airport to go to the manager, to the supervisor. Make sure it goes up to so the supervisor always knows that. Now, I get permission from the supervisor that my trays pass is waived. This is an entry-exit visa. And the lady says to me, "Before you can go back to the Philippines, you have to have a throwaway pass, an onward ticket." And the onward ticket that I had was back to Saigon from Manila. But it had expired a week ago, because I got the ticket to Manila, and then I got the onward ticket, and by the time I got back, by the time I was allowed to come back to the Philippines, my onward ticket expired. So the lady said, "You cannot use this, sir. You'll have to buy another ticket, onward ticket." And I said, "Well, if I go back upstairs to the ticket agent, I won't have time to get on this plane." She goes, "Yes, sir, you'll have to buy another ticket to go to Manila." No way. No. Somebody got to be able to do something about this. I have an onward ticket. Just change it. So the manager, the supervisor, a man, he's listening to this whole thing. He goes, "Give me the ticket." I give him the ticket. If I didn't have a physical onward ticket paid for by Cebu Pacific, I would still be in Vietnam. Well, I would have had to wait. I would have had to get another. I would have had to buy 2 more tickets. The ticket for that day, another 3.7 million dong, and the onward ticket for 4 or 5 million dong. So he does something, hands it back to the lady. She goes, "Okay, here's your boarding pass." They waived it. So the onward ticket that I had expired. I would have had to buy another onward ticket, which I would have bought, but I didn't have the time to go back up to the ticket office. The plane was going to leave. I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's already 8 o'clock. By the time I went upstairs, got an onward ticket, and back down, the plane would have left already. The boarding would have been over. What a nightmare. And I'm still sick. So that was my trip to Vietnam. Would I go back there? People are going to ask me. No, never. I will never go back there. Was the War Weapons Museum worth the time it took to get there? Oh, the cab driver on the way back. Oh, did I upset that guy? Oh, he was very upset. To get from the Saigon Airport to the War Weapons Museum, we're just going to use Saigon Airport as a starting point, because that's where all the hotels were. To get to the War Weapons Museum was 100,000 dong. That's $10. Just say $10. So I know I paid $10 because it's about $1 per kilometer. I get there, and there's a cab driver. I just walk in, the cab driver, I take you back to the airport because he says I have my backpack with me. I'm not going back to the airport. I take you to the airport. I'm not going to be done here for 2 or 3 hours, whatever the museum takes, but I'm resting. So I sit down in a chair and I go to sleep for an hour outside in the museum. You're allowed to sleep there too. And then I wake up and the guy is still standing by the gate because I'm right by the exit. I take you to the airport now. I go, I never even went in the museum. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. I take you to the airport. No, you're not taking me to the airport. So now I start walking around, and the first place I went into was the tiger cage, a pavilion that showed you how they housed Viet Cong prisoners, the cells, the type of torture that the Americans did to the Viet Cong, and also the guillotine, that they had a guillotine in every prisoner of war camp in Vietnam. And by 60 something, every POW camp had a guillotine in it. And that was depressing. So I go through the Tiger Cage Museum. That's about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Then I go and I look at the aircraft and the different weapons that they used in Vietnam. And each one has a placard. I have a video of that coming up. And I go back to where I was sitting because it was quiet by the exit. And the guy is still there 2 hours, 2.5 hours after I arrived. I take you to the airport. I'm going, dude, I'm not done yet. There was another whole section that I wanted to see. In video, audio, and also another section where there was mortars and aircraft artillery weapons, stuff like that. So now I take another nap and I wake up and the guy is there. I take you to the airport. I'm going, dude, go away, man. Now you're really being annoying. Go away. You're not taking me to the airport. Go away. I take you to the airport. It was like a bad movie. So now I go to the rest of the museum. That's another hour. I come back. I'm going to sit down. I'm tired again. Still sick. I take you to the airport. So I go to sleep. And when I wake up, it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. My flight leaves in the morning. I take you to the airport. Okay, well, now I'm ready. So I get in the cab. He puts the meter down. There's 2 meters. There's a meter in the front next to the steering wheel in the middle. And there's a meter to the right. And I'm looking, I'm going, why is there 2 meters? And the meter in the middle is reading a certain amount of dong, D-O-N-G, but the meter to the right is reading 5 times the amount of dong that's in the middle. In other words, whatever number was in the middle, it didn't say dong, but it said like 10, and then the other meter said 50. When this one got up to 100, the other one was 500. When this one got up to 1,000, the other one was 10,000. And I'm going, this guy's got 2 meters. He's got a fake meter. He put his own meter in the car. So we get to the airport, and the guy tells me 490,000 dong, which is, what did Scott say? 2,000 pesos is 400,000 dong. So it was $50. Meanwhile, I only paid $10. I only paid 100,000 dong to get to the museum. So the guy tells me 490,000 dong. I said, no. 100,000 dong. The middle meter says 94, which meant 94,000 dong. No, sir, 500,000 dong. Go get the police. Go get the police. Get the police. Bring the... I put my hand, sir, to the police officer. Come. No police, no police. I said, well, here's 100,000 dong. I had 100,000 dong bill. No, 500,000. So I open up the door and I put my backpack on, which he did not stop me, didn't try to stop. He knows that his meter was bogus. And I hand him 100,000 dong, and I said, keep the change. Okay, you owe me 500,000. Yeah, okay, I owe you 400,000 dong. I'll see you later. So the guy he had 2 meters in the car. One said 94,000. One said, I was sick. I was sick as a dog, Scott. I was beyond. And this went on for the whole time. I was sick for 3 days in Manila. And then I was sick for 7 more days in Vietnam. 10 days. This lasted. Whatever it was horrific. I'm just feeling better last night. So I get out and I go into the airport. And then that's when I got my PCR test and all of that on the way back. But what a nightmare this was. I got to tell you, I would never go back to Vietnam. Oh, so now when I'm in Vietnam, I said, you know what? I'm here. Let me go scuba diving. Let's see what's going on here, because I brought my Naui card with me. And I'm at the airport. I went back to the airport. That was one of the reasons I went back to the airport, to go online to look up where I could go scuba diving. In order to go scuba diving in Vietnam, you got to get on a plane. It would have cost about $700. I'm going, what the hell with that? For $60, I can go scuba diving in behind my house with 2 tanks. So I didn't go scuba diving. But what a nightmare this trip was. I got more stories. But right now, it's what is it going on? 9:30, I guess. No, 9:25. I'm done. I'm done for today. I'll read the comments. I'll tell you where I'm going next. I'm going... Oh, one more quick story. So I'm in the airport, and I call up Daisy on Facebook, and Daisy says to me, did you get me a souvenir that says Vietnam on it? Now, there's a beautiful souvenir shop in Ho Chi Minh / Saigon International Airport on the 3rd floor. Absolutely gorgeous souvenir. They have a lot of stuff. And it's cheap, too. It's not... It's cheaper than... You buy a hamburger, buy a Whopper at Saigon International Airport, a 4-cheese Whopper, $17 with French fries and a soda. At the souvenir shop, everything is cheap because it's all cheaply made Vietnamese, materials. So I said, no, I didn't get that yet. So I got about 100,000 dong. I had about 900,000 dong left in my pocket. So I take the cell phone with Daisy on Facebook. The cell phone worked in the hotel, but in the airport it worked really well. So I start walking around the shop. She goes, I want a bag that says Vietnam on it, like a shoulder bag. And they had beautiful shoulder bags. How much? 225,000. Yeah, 225. The shoulder bag was 225,000 dong. And I says, is there anything? I want a purse to put coins and pesos that says Vietnam on it. Okay, it's all on one wall there. She'd like a shirt. They had no shirts. Do you want to hear? They had no T-shirts that said Vietnam on it. Nothing. What they had was T-shirts that said I love New York and I love the Big Apple, but no T-shirts that said Vietnam. So we didn't get that. Then she wanted a large shoulder bag for like a day bag, one for her, one for her mom, Jocelyn. So we got that. Anything else? And she said, no, that's it. Now the problem started. Now serious problem started. I have a bag, a light duty shoulder bag, two full size shoulder bags, and a purse. So I says, okay, this is what you want. Yes, but not that color. What colors do you want? I want white, a white shoulder bag. So Daisy, a white shoulder bag is going to get dirty like in one day. I want white. So I said to the lady, she wants a white shoulder bag. White. You have to point. They don't speak English. No white, sir. What about in the back? They go in the back, no white. They don't have any white, Daisy. How about blue? No, not blue, brown. I says, okay, you want a brown large shoulder bag? Yes. What about your mother? I don't know. Let me call her up. So she has to call her mother. The mother wants blue. A blue. Do you have any blue? Yeah, we have a blue. So they get me a blue. We have a blue and a brown large shoulder bag. Another one with an owl on it that says Vietnam. And then we have the purse. But the purse is blue. I don't want a blue purse. I want a green purse. Are you sure you want a green purse? Yes. So I find a green purse that says Vietnam, but it's the wrong color green. There's different colors in green, in case you don't know. There's green, and then there's the green that Daisy wants. So now I take the phone and I show her the wall of, this is the color green that you can have. I don't want that green. I want a different green. Okay. She wants a different green. Can you go in the back and look to see if you have a different green? So they didn't have a different green. This is the only green they have, honey. Okay, I'll take that green. I never spent so much time picking out colors in my life on anything. Here, I make life simple. Life is very simple for me. You buy something, you paint it yellow. Done. They had a mental note of what they wanted as far as colors for purses, which didn't make any sense because Daisy wanted a white shoulder bag. How long is a white shoulder bag going to last? It's going to get dirty right away. As soon as you put it on a dirty jeepney, it's going to get dirty. Put it down on the floor, it's going to get dirty. Rain, it's going to get dirty. But she wanted a white one. I wouldn't have cared if there was 3,000 white ones. She wasn't getting a white one. We're going to pick out a nice dark color. Something that doesn't get dirty. Or you go with yellow. Yellow is always the color of choice. So we got those 4 bags. Now the lady tells me, I put it all on the counter. How much? $925,000. So that's nice. That's my birthday. Well, I don't have $925,000. I'm short. 1 peso is 400 dong. 100 pesos is 40,000 dong. I'm short about 60,000 dong. So now, I'm still sick. I'm in that store hour and a half. My legs were killing me. I was tired. And I want to get this over with. So I buy what I could buy, and now I got to either go downstairs and spend another $20 for an international withdrawal fee from the ATM machine for a lousy $3. I got to spend 20. I said, I'm not going to do that. But then I remembered that I had pesos in coins, and I had peso bills that I had put away in the bottom of my bag. So I had a 100 peso bill and some coins, and I got the difference in pesos I went to a money changer and gave them coins and bills, and they gave me whatever I needed. 100 pesos was 40,000 pesos. Dong, whatever. I got what I needed with some small change. Now I go back and I take another nap, and that's it. That's my quick story about what there is to do in the Manila airport. I'm glad you enjoyed the show. Now I'm going to go buy the Pro Max phone, which is for sale in the BQ Mall at Save and Earn on the 5th floor for 74,000 pesos. It was 80,000 pesos 2 weeks ago. Or I'm going to go to Fortress in ICM and pay about the same amount. Depends. The BQ Mall only has green. I don't know that I want green. I'm not sure what colors the Fortress has because they didn't answer the phone. Welcome back to the Philippines. No one answers the phone. And of course I put a check into the bank before I left back in July, and that cleared. So I'm going to go to my bank. I'm going to cancel my dollar account in my bank that I have a dollar account in. Then I'm going to go to the money changer and give him whatever I wanted, $100 bills, and I'm going to go to another bank and start another dollar account in my main bank account. So I have 3 bank accounts now. I'm going to shut one off because one is just emergency fund. I don't go to that bank. I have like a certain amount of money in there for an emergency. The other one I use daily, and the one I only use to put checks in, my American checks from my American bank. So that check cleared, and I'm going to go move that money over, and I'll take that money out of the bank, buy my phone, get my $500 in $100 bills with that money, and then I'll go start another bank account at my main branch. That's true, Scott. Jim Alver. Wow, the short dong. Oh, yeah, you could. Oh, I was definitely short dong. There's no doubt about it. Thanks, Jim. Welcome, Jim. Welcome to the machine. So, yeah, I was short dong. We'll leave it at that. So, not in real life, though. What appearances can be deceiving. So with that, I want you guys to know something, that what I really want to happen is I want Barry Jordan's channel to grow to 5,000 subscribers. So if you guys are not subscribed to Barry Jordan's channel, please go to Meet Barry J. He just made 3,000 subscribers. Please go there and help him on his way to 5,000 subscribers. He can use the subscribership and the extra income. And he has, without a doubt, some of the best diatribes, some of the best dissertations, some of the most comedic routines that you've ever seen in your entire life on YouTube. Aside from his actually he's quite funny when you look at it from an outside perspective. There's a lot of people that feel different ways about Barry Jordan, but when you look at Barry Jordan and you listen to what he has to say, a lot of what he has to say makes perfect sense. Some of it's blah blah blah, but he can string many thought processes together. He's a pretty funny guy. And now, I've had my differences of opinion with Barry, but I've come to know Barry as being pretty much aside from the fact that I think Meet Barry J should stop drinking, stop smoking cigarettes, and stop vaping, he's a great guy. So, you should go to Meet Barry J's channel, give him some subscribers, so that he can continue his wonderful lifestyle in the Philippines, his placid mediocre, very happy lifestyle in the Philippines. He's not after riches and fame and fortune. He just wants 5,000 subscribers. Doesn't everybody? Meet Barry J. Go subscribe. Join his whatever that thing is. Tell him I said hello. And with that, I'm on my way to the city. Flying circus. Funny how? Like a clown? That was the little guy at the bar before he jammed that pen. Yeah, funny how? I remember that movie well, actually. Funny how? Danny DeVito or whatever that guy, the little guy's name. Funny how? Like a clown? No. That was at the table. When he was, and everybody was going, oh, I didn't mean it. That was a different movie. I was talking about the pen. Yeah, funny how. Because he had them going, yeah? Funny how. Hey, Flying Circus. You could also subscribe to Flying Circus. He's Flying Circus. And if you're not subscribed to Flying Circus, you should go subscribe to Flying Circus NDNC. Honey, you come in. Did you check the bleach, or is it good now? Did you take a look? Oh yeah? No, not yet? Okay, we'll do that later. Give me 5. Okay. So, yeah, so DNC. Now DNC, can somebody Flying Circus or somebody get DNC Flying Circus link up on the channel? Because that would be, DNC is probably one of the best video creators. Oh, and Illuminati. He's another great video. If you guys can get those links and put them up there, I should have asked earlier. But DNC, what DNC does, he makes some of the best video ever. Nobody is more creative than DNC. What DNC does is he takes pictures. He takes pictures of people and he cuts out their faces, and then he puts the faces of the people in other venues, let's say venues. And he has some of the best, what I call cutout pictures and placements of a person's face on YouTube. Some of the best. And DNC he's like magic. He's like magic when he takes a face, and removes the face, puts something in place of a face. Honey, give me this. Oh, you get this. And thanks. Yeah, honey, can I see that purse with the owl, please? Is that the purse that I got you with the owl? This is beautiful, and this is thanks. This is the kind of stuff you could get in Vietnam for $10 at the souvenir shop at the Saigon International Airport. It's all hand woven. It's called hand block. And then on the front is the owl. And when you open it up, is the owl again. And this is about $10. It's 225,000 dong, I think it was. It's about $10. It's got a zipper. It's well made. So for $10, and if you're going to go to, now there are no other souvenir shops in Saigon City, and I've walked upwards of 15 miles in different areas of Saigon city, and looking at each and every store, looking for a souvenir shop and a place to buy sneakers. Couldn't find any place to buy sneakers. And the one place that had sneakers, they only had up to like a size 11. I needed 13, 13 and a half. So the souvenir shop at the Saigon International Airport, just don't even bother trying to go someplace else to buy something that says Vietnam on it. Now this does not say Vietnam on it, but it's a purse from Vietnam, and Daisy saw this and she wanted it. Thanks, honey. So for $10, you get a beautiful purse like this. You're not going to buy this in the Philippines for $10. And quite nice, actually. It's got a very nice liner inside it. What happened? Oh, yeah? Okay, I'll take a piece. Thanks. Your purse is on the bed. They just cut up some fresh apples. Oh, also, LaRue Seagrass, I apologize. See if we could get LaRue Seagrass channels up there as well. LaRue, I gave you a wrench that you said you didn't want, so you could put your link up there. If we could get LaRue's, okay, thank you, Scott. Anybody have any questions about where to go in Manila Airport? I'll tell you where to go. To digress, there are 3 places that you can sleep in Manila Airport. On the 3rd floor, on the 4th floor, at Manila Airport on the 4th floor, McDonald's. You go to McDonald's on the 4th floor, walk past McDonald's and make a right. Look at McDonald's, walk past it, make a right. There's a place called Wings, W-I-N-G-S. You can sleep in Wings for 1,000 pesos, 20 bucks for the night. You don't have to leave the airport. In a hole in the wall, cubby hole. No door, just a curtain. You just crawl in onto a clean bed, mattress, and in the foyer area of that sleeping area is coffee, tea, and a whole regular sized table just full of snacks. Donuts, potato chips, pretzels, popcorn. It's all free. It's part of the 1,000 peso fee. Or you can rent a room with 2 beds and a door for 1,800 pesos for 2 people. And that has its own little television in that screen. You could sleep there, or you could sleep in any one of the 2, and you also can take a shower there. But it's 1,000 pesos. It's only 7.5 hours. So if you get there at midnight, at 7:30 in the morning, your 1,000 pesos is up. They'll ask you to leave or pay more. Or you can sleep in either one of the 2 massage areas in Manila Airport. Again, on the 4th floor, there are 2 places to get a massage, your feet. You can get a pedicure, but you can also take a shower in any of the massage parlors where they massage your feet and your back and legs and stuff like that. You could sleep there. Or you could take a shower for 250 pesos, $5, in any one of those three places. All banking, all ATM machines are on the ground floor of the Manila airport. All the banks in the Philippines, all are represented on the ground floor in the Manila airport. On the third floor is international arrivals and departures and ticket agents. You can go there on the third floor. Passenger storage, you'll see passenger storage. They have free charging stations for your phones, computers, whatever gadgets you have, and you can sleep in the passenger storage area. You can bring a sleeping bag, you can bring a pillow, you can bring an air mattress. Just throw it in the passenger storage area on the floor and go to sleep. You could stay there for a day or 2 days or 3 days if you want. And on the fourth floor of the Manila airport are all the food restaurants. Every food restaurant. One thing I forgot to tell you, there's an Unli rice, U-N-L-I rice. You go to the fourth floor, across Jollibee's on the fourth floor, right across the hall, right across the corridor, is an Unli rice. For 137 pesos, you can get unlimited rice, a small bowl of soup, and 5 pieces of pork belly or a pork chop soup and unlimited rice. So if you're on a budget, thanks, honey. If you're on a budget, there's an Unli rice for 137 pesos, or you could go to Jollibee's and spend, oh, I don't know, 250, 300 pesos for a hamburger. It's up to you. This is very good. What's in here? Eggs?
I add a little bit of peanut butter.
What, honey? Ah, she added peanut butter, garlic, yeah? And cabbage. Wow.
There's the chicken liver left over.
Ah, the chicken liver. We had chicken livers. I love chicken livers. Okay, that's what it is. Wow. That was a great idea, adding the peanut butter. Mess it up. Yes, Scott. It would be okay. I slept in the Manila airport for 3 days. I slept in wings and I slept on the floor one night also. They do not hassle you to sleep there. The man said to me, "Sir, do you have a ticket?" When I was sleeping along the wall. And I said, yes, and I went to get the ticket. He said, no, it's okay. It's okay. He didn't want to see the ticket. He only asked me if I had a ticket. So, yes. And there were people from the day I arrived in Manila to the day I left Manila that were sleeping in the airport. And the same thing in Saigon. So some people were staying in the airport for 2 or 3 days. Now, I guess the reason they allow you to sleep in the airport is because maybe somebody came in from a province because they could get a bus one day and then the next day the air flight is out. But nobody, I slept in Saigon International Airport as well. Nobody questioned why you were there at all. Zero. No questions asked. People were just sleeping everywhere. There might have been, on some nights, 200, 300, 400 people sleeping in Saigon International Airport. Yes. Well, in Manila Airport, they have wings on the fourth floor. Wings is an actual bed, place where there's beds, for $20 for 7.5 hours. In Saigon International Airport, they don't have that, but they have huge bathrooms. And in the handicap bathroom is big. It's like 7 feet by 7 feet. They have the hose where you could wash off with. If you wanted to, you could. So yeah, you could stay in the airport. And Saigon International Airport is so big that you could sleep in anywhere you want. You could sleep on the first floor, the second floor, or the third floor, or the fourth floor. No one cares. Okay, then. Gotta go. Thanks, Scott, for your assistance. Dennis LaRue, Bobsey's channel. Jim Alver has been here for a while, Flying Circus. Yellow, Arthur Yellow, I remember him in the beginning. Thank you. Ripple Effect. I'll get with you when I get back from buying a phone, and of course Jack Thompson. Thank you all for stopping by. For now, I will say Amping Parmi. I might do a live stream from at the cell phone place, because I have to buy I'm going to go buy the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I might do a live stream from either Fortress in the ICM Mall. Fortress is located on the main floor of the ICM Mall, the middle floor, about 3 doors away from the Prawn Farm. And Save and Earn is at the BQ Mall, which I think is 1,000 pesos less, but they have a repair center there. I don't think I'm going to buy it from Save and Earn, because Save and Earn has probably 20 people working in the store, and it's packed all the time. I mean jam-packed. And it's so noisy on the 5th floor of the BQ Mall that I can't hear. It's hard to understand, plus they speak in that language, and I can't hear what they're saying half the time. I just can't understand them. I tell them, I can't hear you. And they refuse to talk loud. And I've gone through this with them many times. So on the phone yesterday, it was okay to get a price of 74,000 pesos for the iPhone 13. But even if Fortress wants more, I'll pay more to buy it in the store where it's quiet. That's my deal. Thanks for watching, Jack. Goodbye. Have a nice day. Red Horse Adventures. Thank you for stopping by. WTF. WTF, you will be seeing, you won't ever see Alo's face. I will be the first person in the history of YouTube to meet Alo in person. That's going to happen soon. As soon as I get a couple of hours of drone flying in under my belt, I'm going to start doing recon the Philippines. Sky King Recon the Philippines, baby. We're going to be making moves from island to island, place to place. Historic YouTube monuments to historic YouTube monuments. We're going to reconnoiter, recon the Philippines, baby. Alo de Winter, the great Alo de Winter, and Michael Fazio together. The most unlikely paired up two people in the YouTube community will eventually be meeting each other unmasked for the first time with a common goal. Thanks for watching. Good day to everybody, including LaRue Seagrass, Umping Permy, from Michael Fazio, and Daisy May in the Philippines, baby. And of course, Umping Permy means take care always. Bye-bye for now.